my name is Amanda Nelson, and today I'm going to be describing the management of simplicity and the impact that it has made on our 21st century lifestyle. They say the world has become too complex for simple answers. They are wrong. This quote by Ronald Reagan shows that even in the 20th century, influences from great minds and great events have made an impact on how we think about things and how we think of things way too complex when really we should be thinking about things on a little bit more of a simple level. So if we take that into perspective for our 21st century lifestyles, we're impacted with things such as the computer, laptops, where we have cell phones that we can communicate with anyone from around the world. And you'd think that the people that come up with this stuff, they try to think with ideas that are supposed to be complex. But as stated in this quote by Steve Jobs, simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean and make it simple. But in the end, it's worth it, because once you get there, you can move mountains. This topic of simplicity, even though it might be a challenge, those complex parameters that we have to overcome will help us manage that simplicity. So let's take a look at some examples. We're going to talk about some examples where others move mountains, and some examples where we have the potential to move our own mountains. So simplicity has revolutionized the way that we prototype and create innovative solutions. It has saved hours of mental pain and discouragement for kids suffering in hospitals, and it has showed us that there are millions of ways to see an object. Now, all of these things tie in together, and that's something that I'm going to be explaining further on. So I'd like to start off with Stanford Design. Stanford Design is a project at Stanford University where they pull people from the engineering programs, from writing programs, they pull kindergartners, they pull people that are in elderly homes and try to get all sorts of new and interesting perspective on how people think. And so it's revolutionizing the ideas and putting it so that the people come first. So like in this picture you can see all the people around, they're posting ideas on postcards all over the wall because they feel like moving is the way to get out those ideas. And generally we tend to think of the simple ideas, and those simple ideas are what are able to make us go further with our discoveries. The golden rule of Stanford Design is to make it simple. So this is an example of how they keep it simple. And basically the idea is if you can't fit it on a napkin, then it's too complex. So this is the napkin explaining Stanford Design School. So it goes over some things like future innovators, design thinking, radical collaboration, and big projects. So this right here is a big project, the CT scan machine. Created by GE, they came up with this machine. Now there's something wrong with it, but what is it? It's only got the clearest pictures that any CT scanner has been able to come up with. And it only has the top amount of functions that any CT scanner has ever been able to provide. But there's a problem, and the problem is fear. When children have to go into the CT scanner, they see it and they're afraid of it. They look into it and they say, I don't want to leave my parents. This is a horrifying experience for them. And so this CT machine causes kids to get drugged and have to go through this process where they're actually going through like 6 hours of drugs in order to develop the confidence to go through this machine. So GE decided to think along the lines of Stanford Design thinking and come up with the Adventure series. So this is just one picture showing the Adventure series, and this is their space program. So basically they give a kid a backpack a week before they're supposed to go to the CT scanner. They say, hey, you're going on an adventure. This is what's going to happen. There are going to be a lot of loud noises and a lot of bright lights, but don't worry. You just got to stay still for the rocket ship to go off. You know, and then it makes sense that your parents aren't with you. It makes sense that someone else is going into another room. And even though some other companies have been trying to come up with new ways to bring down the noise level with the machine, it's still not as good as making the experience fun for the kids. So I guess the next question is, how can I manage my simplicity? Well, what you have to do is make the world look simpler. So life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. That's a quote by Confucius. We tend to overlook the simple things in life when really those are some things that are really important. So one game that I've learned through my experiences as a robotics student is called Make a Motion. So you start off with a motion, and you go in a circle with some other people, and they name off all of the different things that they think that this motion has to offer. So some things that this motion has, maybe you're a hammer, maybe you're pulling on a rope for a pulley, or maybe you're pushing a button with your elbow. It's these thinking techniques that we can use in order to take something simple and make it used for a lot more things. And we believe that this idea of simplicity is what's going to revolutionize our society and our world. We have to think outside of the box, and outside of just this one little thing is only going to be able to do one task. So that brings us to the future. If we want to make it further, and if we want to revolutionize our community, and if we want to delve into different sciences and technology, we first need to understand that thinking simple is the key to making things happen. This 21st century is something that we should look forward to and make it prosper as far as we can. And we believe that with simple ideas and simple ways to overcome problems, we'll make it a lot more effective in our future. Thank you.